This video involves the construction of a map showing the positions of 3 villages A, B, and C, which are located such that B is 5 kilometers on a bearing 060 degrees from A, and C is 8 kilometers on a bearing 135 degrees from B. And the scale which you are going to use is 1 centimeter on paper represents 1 kilometer on the actual ground. So I'll take the top of the page as north. So I'll start by constructing the north line at A. Why A? Because A is my reference point. As you can see, that B is 5 kilometers on a bearing of 060 degrees from A. So A is my first reference point. Okay, so after constructing this north line at A, I am supposed to construct an angle of 60 degrees from at A, because that's the bearing of B. Okay, from A. So bearing of B from A is 060 degrees. So using a pair of compasses, I'll construct an angle of 60 degrees at A. So with A as my reference point or center, I'll open a suitable radius, as you can see, and construct an arc which cuts the north line without changing the radius with my new center being the point of intersection of the north line and the arc. I'll construct another arc which cuts this one here. I want to construct an angle of 60 degrees at A, and then I will join A to the point of intersection of the two arcs, okay, to show the direction of B. Okay, and then I'm supposed to mark the position of B along this line. So you are told here that B is 5 kilometers, okay, from A. So using our scale of 1 centimeter to 1 kilometer, it means I must measure 5 centimeters to represent 5 kilometers. So using the ruler and the compass, I measure a radius of 5 centimeters, as you can see, to represent 5 kilometers. Now with A as my center, I'll draw an arc which cuts this line here, which is 5 centimeters from A, to locate the position of B, or village B. So this is the position of village B. So let me write here B. Okay. Then afterwards, we are told that C is 8 kilometers on a bearing 135 degrees from B. So it means B is now my second reference point. So it means, first of all, I must construct a north line at B, which is parallel to this north line at A. Okay. Okay, so for me to construct a north line at B, which is parallel to this north line at A, I must use alternate angles. So if this is 60 degrees between north arrow and this line AB, it means I must construct an angle of 60 degrees between the south line and this AB. Okay, so let me start by constructing an angle of 60 degrees at B like this. I hope my arcs are visible. Okay, so after constructing this arc, I'll change my center from B to this point of intersection of the arc and the line AB. Without changing the radius, I'll construct another arc which joins this one here. Remember, I want to construct an angle of 60 degrees at B here, so that it alternates, this 60 here alternates to this 60 here, so that my north arrow at A and at B here will be parallel. So let me do this. I have to join, right, this point of intersection and be like this. Okay, so this one is another north arrow which is parallel to the previous one at A. So this angle is 60 degrees and this one is 60. So these are parallel because these are alternate angles. Okay. So after constructing a north arrow at B, we are told that C is 8 kilometers on a bearing of 135 from B. Okay. So I must construct an angle of 135 degrees. Remember, three-figure bearings start from the north clockwise. If you remember, or if you realize here, my 60 degrees started from the north up to the direction of B, which is 60 degrees. So here I'm supposed to construct an angle which starts from the north up to the direction of C, which is 135 degrees. So first of all, I will start by constructing an angle of 90 degrees here at D with B as my center, and then bisect the angle so that I can get 45 degrees. So I first of all started by constructing 90 degrees at B. So with B as my center and the suitable radius, I'll construct the arcs, which I think we'll see them, which are cutting the north arrow and this south line. Okay. From there, with this point of intersection of the north arrow and the arc as my center, I'll construct an arc here without changing the radius. I'll construct again another arc, changing the center with this new point where this line, south line, meets the arc as my center. I'll construct another arc which cuts this one here. Okay. After doing so, I will join D to this point of intersection of the arcs like this. So I've constructed an angle of 90 degrees at B, but the required angle is 135 degrees. That's the bearing of C from B. So starting from north, for me to have 135 degrees, I'll choose B as my center again and bisect this 90 degrees, which is between this east line and this south line. As you can see, I'm bisecting this 90 degrees and then changing my center to this where the arcs meet the east line. Construct another arc here. Here I want to construct an angle of 45 degrees. And then here is my new center. This is just bisecting the angle of 90 degrees. Okay. I'll construct another arc which meets this one here. Okay. If you are not familiar with angle bisecting, you can watch some videos on angle bisecting. To bisect an angle, it means just to divide it into two equal parts. So this whole angle here is 90 degrees. So to bisect it, it means I construct angles of 45 degrees. So I join B to this point of intersection. This is the direction of C, village C. Okay. Remember, I told that C is 8 kilometers on a bearing of 135. So this whole angle from north, remember three-figure bearing start from north. From north till we get here is 135 degrees. Because from here to this east line is 90 plus this 45. So 90 plus 45, that's 135 degrees altogether. So this is the direction of C. So now I want to locate the position of C. We are told that C is 8 kilometers from B. Okay, so according to my scale, 1 centimeter stands for 1 kilometer. It means I must measure 8 centimeters using the ruler and a pair of compasses. Okay, as you can see, that's 8 centimeters, okay, which stands for the 8 kilometers from B to C. Okay, now with B as my center and having opened a radius of 8 centimeters using this pair of compasses, I'm going to draw an arc which cuts this line here to locate the position of C. Okay, so the position of C is right here where this arc meets this line, so that's our C. Okay, so finally I just join A and C using this line, okay, to form a triangle. So thank you for watching. I've shown you how to construct the positions of the 3 villages. Okay, see you in the next videos.